Well, thanks, Laura. It's a real pleasure to be here tonight and talk a little bit about this car. Obviously, a powertrain guy going up first. Doug Verley's going to follow me up and talk about the car, and he's going to say it's all about the car. But as every good powertrain guy knows, the car is just a bracket to bolt the engine to. Or a rolling dyno to make sure it's working okay. So what I'm going to try and do today is explain a little bit about the Demon program, how on earth it was conceived, why on earth we did it, and some of the technical challenges that went along the way. So why did we do it? You're probably all aware that we had the ACR Viper, which is the fastest track car, production track car that money can buy. So what do you do after that? Well, the Dodge brand really looked at the motorsports grassroots in the States and realized that drag racing is actually probably the most accessible motorsport there is. For 20 bucks on Friday night, you can turn up to drag strips all over the States, put your 20 bucks down, drive your car there, go down the quarter of a mile. It doesn't matter whether you've got a 100 horsepower car or a 1,000 horsepower car, you can have a good time. How could we take that forward and produce something that we can sell? And to be brutally honest, we have to make a profit at it as well. We're not a charity. And so we'll talk a little bit tonight about how this all got going and why we did it and why we ended up with this thing on the stage. April 2015, two people sat down in front of the boss. I'm not allowed to say who the boss is, but you can probably guess. And the conversation went something like, we want to build the fastest production street legal drag racing car in the world. Okay. And we need a bunch of things to happen to the Challenger to make that happen, including an engine that produces an awful lot more power than it did. So the boss said, you can't do that, surely, it's not possible. Yeah, we can do it. And then the comment went something like, you guys are absolutely crazy, but bring it to the product committee in any case. And basically Chrysler is run by a product committee of about 24 people who vote on every product that we do. So he told us to bring it in and we'll have a discussion about what we should do. But one of the most important things, we had to keep this thing really, really quiet. We were going to do something a little crazy, and if the opposition got to find out what we were doing, we were in trouble. So typically an engine program at Chrysler always has an aeronautic theme for its code name. So Hellcat, Apache, Hurricane, Tiger, Shark, you name them. So we were going to do an engine program, but it wasn't an engine program. We didn't want anybody to know we were doing an engine program. So if you think about Hellcat, and in the 60s and 70s, there was a cartoon called Top Cat. I don't know when the old guys like me can probably remember it, but Top Cat, there were a bunch of alley cats who got into lots and lots of trouble. We couldn't call it Top Cat, that was obvious. You know, anything that's going to beat a Hellcat is Top Cat. But Top Cat had a little friend called Benny the Ball. So the Demon engine program's code name was Benny the Ball. And only about 10 people within FCA, a bunch of them sitting on the table at the front here, actually knew what this whole thing was about. So the mission. It's easy to make a tuner car that goes fast. This is not a tuner car. This had to be the fastest production street legal drag car. So we reckoned that we needed about a 10% increase in engine power. We needed to launch the car with about 20% more force than a current Hellcat could do. We needed to take 200 pounds out of the car. And then the hard bit happens. We've got to meet emissions and we've got to meet OBD. And we've got to meet an SAE pass-by noise test. And then the worst thing is we want to put it through all of our durability tests and beat the hell out of it on a dyno so we can warrant the thing so that every customer won't have any issues or won't have any concerns that this thing's a grenade. That's the hard bit. Tuning it's easy. Making all of those things in parallel is the hard side of it.